Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for NCAA men's volleyball as the number 6th ranked Firebirds of Carthage College and their 8-1 conference record welcome the Vikings of Augustana. Hello everybody, live from the lakefront of Lake Michigan in Tarble Arena in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us not only this afternoon, but the entirety of this NCAA 2025 men's volleyball program. As mentioned, Carthage coming in number 6th ranked in the nation. They have already locked the number 1 seed. They will play next Wednesday evening here in Tarble Arena. Opponent, TBD. And the reason I say that, the top 4 teams make the postseason here in the CCIW. The 1 and 2 is locked. The 3 is set for stone. But boy, oh boy, is that 4th seed up for play, and it comes to fruition down to this afternoon. As we look at those CCIW standings that the production crew put together in the pregame, Carthage sits alone at the top, locked in as the 1 seed, 8-1 overall. Loris, even though a hair behind at 7-2. Carthage has the tiebreaker, having swept the season series against the Dewhawks. North Central sits at 6-3, could potentially leapfrog to 7-2, TBD. Then as we look at the 4, the 5, the 6, each of those teams 2 wins. Why does that bear mentioning, and why does that matter today? Augustana is here in Kenosha taking on the top-ranked Firebirds. Should Augustana win and North Park and Illinois Wesleyan lose, there is an opportunity for Augustana to be back here this upcoming Wednesday. We will keep you afloat throughout the entirety of the broadcast as to what the postseason implications and ramifications are, including continual out-of-town scoreboard updates. Let's look now at the season statistics for the Augustana Vikings. Kills per set, hitting percentage, both locked in at 4th in the conference. Where do they shine? Defensively, holding their opponent's hitting percentage to .209. That is 2nd best in the CCIW. Also, they are solid with the defensive front of Diggs, 3rd in conference play, and of course setting the ball 11.4. That is good enough for 3rd in the conference. Can that .209 hitting percentage prove itself fruitful against not only one of the best in the conference, but one of the best in the entire Division III conference of the NCAA? That being the Firebirds of Carthage College. Let's move over to their season statistics. You'll see a lot of 1s, you'll see a lot of 2s, and that's why they're number 6th ranked in the nation. 3 of the top 25 teams in the NCAA currently are in the top 25. They are CCIW's North Central, Loris, and this Carthage College team. Kills per set, hitting percentage, assists per set, service aces per set, as well as blocks per set. 2nd best in the conference, and then 1st in the conference for opponent hitting percentage, 183. That is this Carthage College Firebirds team. They are firing on absolutely all cylinders at the timeliest of manners, and this is being as the season is coming to a conclusion. So yet again, just to remind everybody, this upcoming Wednesday, Carthage will be hosting the first round of the CCIW tournament against who will be the number 4th seed in the CCIW. So again, we will keep you afloat for that out-of-town scoreboard. Who will potentially be taking on this Carthage College Firebird squad, and who will be either heading to Naperville or to Iowa to take on the Loris College Dewhawks. So we appreciate you being with us. Again, the first game will be the 1 versus the 4. So Carthage will be hosting the 4 seed. And again, North Central, by all intents and purposes, because of the tiebreakers, sitting at number 3, will be heading to number 2, Loris. Time TBD, but that will be on Wednesday. We're going to take a timeout, hand it over to public address announcer Justin Corrigan. Will be taking you through the starting lineups and the national anthem. The 4th seed at stake versus the number 1, right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
At the north end of the arena. It draped over the coffin of Captain Frank Vavrin, a former Carthage student who died in Vietnam in 1970. The flag is a gift to the college from his parents. In remembering Captain Vavrin, we pay tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives for our country and honor those who today put themselves in harm's way in service to America. At this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. All right, fans, it's time to meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Vikings of Augustana. At middle blocker, a 6'5" junior from Chicago, Illinois, number 1, Tom Lamb. At outside hitter, a 6'2" sophomore from Grayslake, Illinois, number 5, Ryan Huntington. At center, a 6' sophomore from Northbrook, Illinois, number 6, Colin Schaefer. At middle blocker, a 6'6" fifth-year student from Portland, Oregon, number 10, Ben Schultz. And outside hitter, a 6'6" freshman from Naperville, Illinois, number 13, Cole Clark. And outside hitter, a 6'3" senior from Gurnee, Illinois, number 23, Zach Moriano. And at libero, a 5'10" fifth-year from Edwardsville, Illinois, number 4, Max Sellers. The head coach of the Vikings is Mike Ducey. Coach Ducey is assisted by Taryn Van Eerwich, Ken Talkett, and Sarah Sorrell. All right, fans, it's showtime. Make some noise.
It's getting sticky, sticky, sticky. Bro, it's getting sticky, sticky, sticky. See, I'm a west side from the zone. Knock, 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 knocking at the door. Steps out, you pop, burn, scrap the foot. I'm nooking if you booking.
Pushing away is Lewinsky.
Tyler in this, we trying to mad, but can't be my run it up. I don't fight for my respect. I fight for the street. Baby girl, I'm finna rock your.
Listen, Grayo, 3-on-3. Carthage control, set middle, 3-meter. Putting it down is Otto right in front of Callan.
Situation, discombobulation. Caught me red-handed, palms itching like rotation. Standing like ovation on business occupation. Dripping condensation, got a whisper conversations.
And now the starting lineup for your Carthage College Firebirds. An outside hitter, a 6'4" sophomore from West Aurora High School in North Aurora, Illinois, number 2, Owen Hendry. Hendricks. At center, a 6'7" junior from St. Francis High School and hailing from Redwood City, California, number 6, Ryan Morey. And opposite here, a 6'6" sophomore from Middleton High School in Middleton, Wisconsin, number 13, Ben Heiss. At middle blocker, a 6'4" freshman from Middleton High School in Middleton, Wisconsin, number 14, Hudson Schweitzer. At middle blocker, a 6'8" senior from Lakes Community High School and hailing from Lindenhurst, Illinois, number 15, Ryan Cholowinski. And outside hitter, a 6'3" sophomore from Hartford High School in Hartford, Wisconsin, number 21, Owen Automatic Otto. And at libero, a 6'1" senior from Glenbard West High School in Glen Ellen, Illinois, number 4, Zach Nolan. The head coach of the Firebirds is J.W. Kiekefer. Coach Kiekefer is assisted by Jacob Bush, David Marcus, and Cooper Chemnitz.
And welcome into the Firebird Broadcasting Network live from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us. Let's look at the visiting Vikings of Augustana along with head coach Mike Ducey. Lamb, Huntington, Schaefer, Schultz. Your oppo is going to be Cole Clark, Zach Mariano, and Max Sellers, your outside, alongside your libero. Your starters for Augustana. Postseason hopes in the balance. Firebirds locked into the 1 seed, playing for pride and playing to make sure they lock and load to take the CCIW crown. Hendricks, Nolan, Morey, alongside Ben Heiss, Hudson Schweitzer, Cholowinski, and the outside, one of the best in the nation, number 21, Owen Otto, your head coach for the Firebirds. J.W. Kiekefer, your 2-time national championship coach. Carthage 19-3, 8-1 in conference play, 10-1 at home. Their only loss, a 5-setter against another nationally ranked team in Stevens, the 31st of January this year. Augustana, an even 500 overall, 12-12. They are 2-7 in conference play, 5-7 away from home. They are back and forth as much as can be. They beat North Park 3-0 on the 29th of March in convincing fashion, lost in 4 just a few days ago against North Central. That was a 20-25, 25-23, 25-18, and then in extra 26-24. Augustana right to left, wearing the Road Royal Blues, white numbers and letters, gold trim. Firebirds, the home blacks, white numbers and letters and red trim. And we are underway in Kenosha. Set left side, off the double, playable for the Firebirds. Heiss, Cholowinski, running it down, number 23, Zach Mariano. Right side, Cholowinski going far, picked up clean. Off the pin, point 1 for the Firebirds. Owen automatic, and Carthage draws first blood. As things sit, the tiebreaker goes to Illinois Wesleyan for the 4th seed. Not necessarily the opponent that the Firebirds may want to see, as they took Carthage to 5 just a week ago on the 29th. Carthage having to pull it out 15-6 in the 5th and final set. Powerful serve, overpass by Augustana, resets up the attack now for Carthage, off the shoulder blade of Cole Clark out of Plainfield North, and Carthage leads 2-1. Ryan Morey in the contest now. Morey stepping up as the starting setter this season has done nothing but beautiful things at the net. The 6'7" setter, offense, defense, and net presence. The rollover not successful for number 21, Owen Otto. The bench of Augustana quite loud, as you also see one of the teammates for the Vikings, I believe it to be Bill Unyi, wearing the Viking helmet. Off the fingertips, Schweitzer playable, back set from the libero, Sellers out of Edwardsville, Illinois. Left hand rollover, Heiss, redirected, near side, down, out of play, point for Owen Otto, who continues on having a potential CCIW Player of the Year candidacy. Chance again for the Vikings, playable bottom row. Near pin, over the double block, Morey finds the pieces. Left side, blocked down. Huge net presence for Cole Clark, the freshman, out of Naperville, Illinois. Assistant coaches Tara Van Eerweg, Ken Talcott, and Sarah Sorrell cheering on the Vikings as they have tied it up at 3 apiece. Serving now number 17, Aiden Bond out of Aurora, Colorado. Float serve found by Nolan. Nolan is the lone libero for the Firebirds, as rotational libero Jack McDonald sidelined, lower left leg extremity injury. He has a boot on. His timeline is TBD to return. So it is the Noland show. Firebirds lead by 1. Ruben Emmerich subs in to serve, and that hits the bottom of the net, one of the more aggressive servers in the entire conference. Serving now number 1, Tom Lamb, the junior out of Brother Rice High School on the south side of Chicago. And Lamb gets the ace. March indeed came in like a lion, in like a lamb and out like a lion, or in like a lion, out like a lamb. Either way, Lamb gets the ace. High set, left side, that stays in. Outstanding presence yet again by Cole Clark. The chants continue, the Vikings lead by 2. Lamb, not only one of the top 5 in kills, also 13 service aces. Give him number 14, that out of play. We may be close to a timeout for the Firebirds. They trail now by 3, 7-4. The overpass, down, kill. Ben Schultz, the middle blocker out of Portland, Oregon, and indeed a timeout by the Firebirds. They trail by double, 8-4. Again, to set the stage in the CCIW, Carthage locked in at the 1. Loris and North Central are your 2 and 3 currently because of tiebreakers. The Cardinals will head to Iowa to take on Loris. And the 4, 5, and 6 Illinois Wesleyan, this Augustana team, and North Park all with 2 wins apiece. Illinois Wesleyan are taking on the Dewhawks of Loris, and North Park is taking on North Central. So last weekend, as mentioned, a 5-setter of victory for the Firebirds over Illinois Wesleyan, and that was so huge, not only for Carthage to continue on their winning ways to lock in that 1 seed, but should Illinois Wesleyan had found that 3rd victory in conference play, that could have all but locked in that 4th seed. Again, they gave the Firebirds everything and more just a week ago. Looking now at the out-of-town scoreboard. Yet to start are the Cardinals. Hop serve, back row, out of play. So the Firebirds got the coach's point, but immediately give up the service error. And returning the favor, Cole Clark, coming up a bit short. Back to serve, number 2, Owen Hendricks. Hendricks, of course, the reigning, the CCIW Defensive Student Athlete of the Week for matches that were played between March the 24th and March the 30th. Crisp pass by the setter, Colin Schaefer, the sophomore out of Glenbrook North. Still a 4-point lead. Another point for the Vikings. As Carthage, again, you don't want to necessarily concede victory to the Vikings. Twofold. One, you will see them again in that potential circumstance in just 4 days' time. Secondarily, you want to have as much momentum as possible going into the postseason. You don't want any of the nuts and bolts to be loosened and show any sort of susceptibility. Most recently, the Firebirds made extremely quick work of North Park, 25-18, 25-11, and 25-20. The reason that bears mentioning is that indeed locked in the Firebirds to the number 1 seed, but put North Park in a very precarious situation, having to win and needing help to reach the postseason in their own right. They are taking on North Central this afternoon. Pass to the left side, falling away. ISO block still alive as Hudson Schweitzer is checked into the game. Maury, left side, Otto down. Stop me if you heard me. Otto, kill. Left side, down and in. The speed of Augustana truly showing itself this afternoon in Kenosha. Carthage, known for being the quickest team in the conference. Right now, Augustana saying, hold my drink. Maury set left side, just over the top with the left hand. That does indeed hit the court. Ben Heiss credited with the point. Head coach Mike Ducey checking to see if it touched or not. R1 gives the head nod. We continue on 13-9. Left hand through. Just utilizing the strength is Ben Heiss. Near or far, doing an outstanding job. An ace! Firebirds within 2, they're on a run. Number 21, Owen Otto. Otto, 32 aces. The team leader by double over the 16 of Hendricks. Firebirds get another point as that goes out of bounds, and just like that, Augustana and the Vikings forced to utilize a timeout. Augustana was up 13-9. A 3-0 run by the Firebirds have quickly brought them back into play. Augustana hitting .250 this afternoon as we see the king of the Vikings, number 16. Bill Unyi out of Plainfield South. But .250 for Augustana to only .150 for Carthage. Otto 3 for 7 hitting .143. On the flip side, Hendricks 2 for 3. They haven't been able to feed him a lot. Cholowinski 0 for 4 currently. So can the coach's timeout of Mike Ducey prove itself fruitful? Trying to stop the run of the home Firebirds. Continuing on at the service line, Owen Otto. And indeed, the coach's point rears its ugly head if you're a fan of the Firebirds. However, success for the Vikings. Float serve again, picked up, Otto. Down and in, the lefty, the Iceman, Ben Heiss. Now, something to keep in mind. As mentioned, Illinois Wesleyan currently has the tiebreaker, so should Augustana fall to Carthage, should the Dewhawks come out victorious against Illinois Wesleyan, and should North Park fall to North Central, if all teams stay at 2 wins, Illinois Wesleyan will indeed come away with the 4th and final seed. Which, if you are Illinois Wesleyan, you're saying we can beat the Firebirds. They were so close just last week. Firebirds within 1. Huge back set, the overpass, the flick over, that one went on the far side of the pin. We are tied at 15. Firebirds on a nice little run. A 6-2 run have brought the Firebirds back tied at 15 apiece with 10 to go in set number 1. Cholowinski over the top, brought back in. Maury, back to Hendricks, back row, picked up clean by Bond. The rollover, Otto with the side swipe. Just out of play. Vikings regain the lead. Now, something else to note. Unless this game goes for 4 to 5 hours, we still will not know the 4th and final seed at the conclusion of this game, as number 11 Loris and the Dewhawks do not have first serve against Illinois Wesleyan until 5 o'clock Central Time. So again, we may see the beginning of that game, but for all intents and purposes, we will not see the conclusion. So you will have to stay tuned to that contest to see who will come out on top. Vikings once again regain the lead. So every time the Firebirds now have gone 1 for 1 and tied with the Vikings, they have not been able to overtake the Vikings set, left side, down. Pushing the nails into the floorboards, Owen Otto. 5 kills out of the 17 points already in this contest. Michael Yem checks into the game. The St. Louis native. That one goes too far. Another service error for Carthage College. Service ace for number 10, the Vikes. Ben Schultz, the 5th year out of Portland, Oregon. Schultz with service ace number 12 on the year. High return, back row. Hendricks. Morey sends that on a play, and point goes to the Firebirds. Vikings thought they may have had the point, but nonetheless, it rolled out of play after the contact. Morey off the top of the tape, playable for the Vikings. High back set from the Bick, and reach violation called. And Carthage tied up again at 19. Dropped right below the outstretched left arm of Nolan. Augustana, the first team to hit the red zone. 1 point lead, 20-19. In comes number 6, Colin Schaefer, the setter out of Northbrook. From the Bick, block back. On the continuation, picking it up is Hendricks. Otto going back row. Double block. And just net presence, Cole Clark came in front of his line of sight and just went far side, and the Firebirds couldn't get there. Falling away, and that rolls through the outstretched left hand of Hudson Schweitzer. We may have a timeout, and we do. The Firebirds had tied it at 19 apiece, but Augustana with a timely 3-0 run as they desperately cling to their postseason aspirations, needing a victory and help to get the 4th seed against Carthage this upcoming Wednesday. Thank you for joining us once again on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Currently, both teams hitting above 200. Augustana 273 to 241 of Carthage. However, the 2 blocks by Augustana, as well as 2 service aces to the 1 of Carthage, proving itself that 3-point difference. Hop serve, back row. High back set. That stays in. Good point out of the timeout for the Firebirds. Not only the kill for Otto, who is the team leader between both squads, now at 6 kills, but also at the service line. Ace. That's called taking matters into your own hands. Otto, 2 points in a row. Firebirds, an opportunity to tie it at 22. The back set, finding the line. Block converged too far. Owen Hendricks, Augustana, 2 points away from taking set 1 in Kenosha. The last time these two teams met, it was a clean sweep for the Firebirds. 25-21, 25-22, and 25-20. So Augustana has already scored more in set 1 than they did in any set in the first match. Back row, no tip. Point for the Firebirds. Back to within 1, but again, they have not been able to overplant the visiting Vikings. They have tied a few times. The power serve, playable for the Vikings. Off the double, back row. Block back. Net violation called. 4 hits actually. It didn't clear the net. Head coach Mike Ducey calling the timeout. Tied at 23. The Firebirds needed a run, and guess what they got? A run. Looking at these past few points and what got us here to this circumstance, once again, it was 22-19, a 3-1 run. Including attack errors by Lamb, Mariano, ace by Otto. So 4 out of the last 5 going the way of the Firebirds. Can Augustana force the Emmerich service error? It does. 2 timeouts by Augustana, 2 service errors for the Firebirds. Augustana 1 point away from set 1 victory.
Checking in and serving penalties are 11. Michael Raven.
Getting the okay to serve. Rabin with the serve. Down. And we are going extras in set number 1. Subbing out is Micah Rabin, the 5th-year player out of Tempe, Arizona. Coming in for the Carthage College Firebirds, number 9, Joe Kolwitz. Maury gets a breather. Serving number 13, Ben Heiss. What an entertaining start to this Saturday's afternoon contest. Kolwitz can't get there. And we're back at set 1 point. Serving number 13, Cole Clark. a service ace. Noland and Heiss hopped out of the way, thought it might go too far. It did not, and Augustana one set closer to potential postseason play. 26-25, set 2 coming away shortly. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
At this time, Carthage Athletics would like to thank the following corporate sponsors: Volleyball Auto Stores, located in Kenosha and Racine. Doctors of Physical Therapy, comprehensive orthopedics. Golden Oil Company, Lean Mechanical. Pepsi, Rapid Construction. Satori Energy. Hazard Lights. BSN Sports, British Vortex, Technology Construction, Catalyst Exhibits, Holders, the Stella Hotel and Ballroom, and H Imaging, Waterfront Warehouse, and Parallel.
Just like set 1 started, the Firebirds, with the outstanding play at the service line, didn't end the way the Firebirds wanted, but Augustana, smiling from ear to ear, they are 2 sets away from fighting for that 4th and final playoff spot to be right back here in Kenosha on Wednesday evening. Hello everybody, I'm Peter Ferreri. Set number 2 is underway. Set 1, 26-24, went the way of Augustana. And Augustana rattling off 2 in a row. Set to the near pin. On a play, but oh, that stays in. Just kisses the line, and we're tied at 2. Set left side. That stays in as well. Number 5, Ryan Huntington, the sophomore out of Grays Lake Central, delivers. Picked up. Pass left side, over the double. Back set left, hand off the double. Back and forth we go. Left pin off the triple. Back set. Still alive, what a play by Sellers. Can the Firebirds attack? Clean pickup, Mariano. Nolan, longest rally of the afternoon. Left hand stab at it. Both teams gassed. Flicked back into play, left hand! Sellers couldn't get to it at the very end. Fans clapping for both teams. Were tied at 3. That stays in. Cholowinski able to deliver. Firebirds lead by 1. Set from the Bick, no touch, point for the Birds. Another one out of bounds. A nice little run for the Firebirds. Early timeout by Augustana. Looking at the out-of-town scoreboard for those tuning along at home, North Park all the way to the brink, but fell in set 1 against the Cardinals of North Central, 25-23. So with that being said, North Park, again, not in the envious spot of needing to win to get that 4th seed. Again, should all 3 teams lose, Illinois Wesleyan takes the spot. If one of the 3 that are in the 4th seed gets the win, that team will get that 4th and final bid. If all 3 teams win, Illinois Wesleyan comes away victorious. And I guess we can play the scenario too. I'm all about getting scenarios in and out of the way. But should Illinois Wesleyan lose and Augustana and North Park win, Augustana has the tiebreaker over North Park. So North Park, in order to get in, needs a win and needs Augustana and the Titans of Illinois Wesleyan to lose. Augustana needs a win and at least Illinois Wesleyan to lose, or just Illinois Wesleyan to lose. Illinois Wesleyan needs a win and they're in, or they need all 3 teams to lose. Service error for the Vikings. Carthage once again up by 3. Just out of play as Hendricks tried to kiss the back line. Just as quickly as the Firebirds took the 7-4 lead, Augustana, with everything to play for, firing back and tying at 7. Near pin, double block, falling away. Cholowinski. That was a beautiful use of a decoy type play as Augustana was going and looking for Cholowinski, and they went that clip farther. The serve, number 3, Michael Yem. Near side, playable. Triple block, and that stays in. They're saying net violation, point goes. So Augustana with the "you can't do that" chant. So the R1 said in point Carthage, R2 said net violation. Believe against Cholowinski. And nonetheless, we're tied at 8. Off the left clavicle, but playable for the Firebirds. Going right back for Sellers, so Sellers had it go off of his right clavicle area, stayed in play, and then just like that, the Firebirds went right back to the well. Out of play it goes. 2-point lead, Carthage back up. Morey. Back to serve, one of the top setters in the nation. High pass, left side double block. Left hand over the double. Play at the net. Ben Heiss making his presence known. Three-point lead. And another service error for Carthage. Again, Carthage will be home Wednesday, taking on the 4th seed TBD. I do want to point out when we talk about the jerseys, I do like the unique factor of that left back pocket. Simulated, of course, for the Vikings, but very unique. I like when things aren't necessarily your just standard run-of-the-mill every now and again. You know, that's just my shameless plug that, you know, next time I call a game, that, you know, I have a pair of shorts waiting for me. Back set, off the top of the tip. Coming in and making an instant impact yet again, Ben Schultz, the middle blocker out of Sunset High School. Augustana within 2, and the aforementioned Schultz now at the service line. Also often, that's indeed how it happens. Over the middle and through the woods, Ruben Emmerich putting the extra sauce on that Reuben sandwich. Emmerich, one of the most powerful serves for the team. All or nothing type serve, and that goes off of the right shoulder. Carthage couldn't find much of a run in set 1, and any time they would, even if it was tied, immediately speaking, the Vikings would put a squash to it. Firebirds didn't lead in set 1. Led throughout most of set 2. Cholowinski with the Cholo bomb. Carthage back up by 3. The overpass, left side. Augustana back within 2. Serving now, Aiden Bond out of Eagle Crest High School. Set. Clean pickup. Coming up from the pick and the triple block, 12-6. Number 2, Owen Hendricks. Firebirds more than content with maintaining this 3-point lead. Set over the middle. Answering back, number 1, Tom Lamb. The former Crusader in high school for Brother Rice. Trying to just get to it. Colin Schaefer not able to do so. It was off the deflection. He was leaning left, tried to scatter back right, wasn't able to do so. 3-point lead for the Birds. Back set. Right side playable. Falling away, don't know if it cleared the tape. It did not. So the R2 is waiting for the R1 to make that call. And it eventually came 4-point lead for the Firebirds. May have a timeout now, and we do. That's a very opportune time for Coach Ducey. The officials today, your R1, one of the most tenured R1s in the area, Felix Madera. Your R2, Tony Chan. Lines are Connor Muff and Melissa Rammer. Firebirds now hitting at a 264 clip. Augustana falling to 127. Leading the way for Carthage, 8 kills, Owen Otto, along with 3 service aces. Again, if Otto isn't the CCIW Player of the Year, I will be intrigued to see who gets the honor. Second in kills is Hendricks, or excuse me, Heiss with 5 and 4 with Hendricks. As for Augustana, their charge is led by Lamb, as he's 5 out of 10, as well as an ace and an assisted block. out of play, back row. Number 13 for Augustana now, Cole Clark. Rolls off the top of the tape, point for the Birds. 2 points away from that coveted 20-point mark. Ryan Morey to serve. Off the tip, close to the ceiling. Triple block, huge dig by Sellers. Trying to reconvene the spacing was Mariano. Not able to get there in time. 5-point lead for the Birds. Schweitzer his second kill. Back set. Nolan not able to get underneath it. Serving now, number 23, out of Warren Township, Zach Mariano. Mariano cleans it over to Nolan. Down, ISO kill. Beautiful one touch by Hudson Schweitzer. Pass to the Vic. Two-hand set over is all that Clark could have done, and that stays in. Owen Hendricks, a 21-15 lead. Again, Hendricks, your CCIW Defensive Student Athlete of the Week, his second consecutive week of getting that honor. Had 8 digs, 7 block assists while contributing offensively with 7 kills. Vikings stay alive continually with that outstanding kill number 7 for Huntington. Set to the near pin, and the block by Schaefer put it right back. Six-point lead for Carthage. They need 3 to take set 2. And Emmerich puts that one into the net. As mentioned, Emmerich, it is so powerful. It explodes off of his right hand. That one just kisses the net. Using the full length of the net, and Nolan can't get there in time. Outstanding passing by the Vikings, really spreading thin the defense of Carthage. Morey able to find it after it rolls off the tape. Left hand over the top. Discombobulation by the Vikings defense. Birds need 2. Vikings still clinging on to hope in this second set. From the Bick, Falling away, but kept it alive was Huntington. The block straight back down. Cholowinski welcoming us all to the block party in Kenosha. Set 2 point. Carthage looking to firmly try to take back momentum in this contest. Hendricks. To the far side, breaking through and still alive. Off the right hand of the 6'3" senior Moriano. Cholowinski, can he deliver a second time? Off the rafters, and that falls. Set 2 turns red, 25-20. Tied at 1 set apiece. Augustana needs the win and some help for the postseason. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us this Saturday afternoon, the final regular season game of the CCIW season for these two squads. Carthage once again locked into the one. Augustana clinging desperately onto hopes to find two more victories in this match to defeat Carthage and vie for that fourth and final spot, which would once again result in them being here on Wednesday. Easier said than done. The Firebirds looked a bit out of sorts in set number one until they found their way back, tied it multiple times, lost 26-24 in extras. Set two, more convincing victory for the Firebirds, 25-20. And with that being said, it's a 2-1 start for Carthage. Back to serve, number 13, Ben Heiss. Serving Clark. Left side, back row up in the sky. Near pin breaking through, and Nolan can't get there. And again, Zach Noland, one of the best in the conference. If he can't get to it, not many can. Sailing too far, too much behind it for Clark. Hendricks now, picked up by Sellers, the libero. The back set for Cholowinski just kind of forces it over. Mori left side. Sliding over, and that hits the pin. So at first they said it was Carthage's point, and the R1 changed his mind and say that he thought it was off the deflection. It was actually off the first touch. Conversation now between the R2 and Coach Kiekefer. That gives Augustana the slim lead, 4-3. Cholowinski over the middle. Can't afford an overpass to one of the best middle blockers in the conference. Augie chant from the fans and bench of Augustana. Near pin, left hand Mori just to keep it up in the air. Otto sends it over. The set right at the top, off the dome of the Firebirds. But nonetheless, getting the point, Hudson Schweitzer. Schweitzer, one of the three from Middleton, Wisconsin. What an ace by number 3, Michael Em. Put a little bit extra of that Provel cheese from St. Louis on that serve. And if you've never had Emo's Pizza, I'm just gonna say you're missing out. I'm a fan. And yes, I'm born in Chicago, lived a lot of places in my life, so I can say I have a fairly decent opinion, and of course, being a larger man, I've eaten a lot of pizza, and I like Emos. Next time we'll have him be a sponsor. Stand back within one. Service error for Augustana. That's one of those situations, or at least today is, if you're Augustana, I don't want to necessarily say you have to play a perfect game, but you have to be as close to that as possible to beat the top. Maury, service error, giving the point right back.
Checking for number 13, Volleyball. Now serving number 6, Schaefer.
Have a swing serve for number 6, Schaefer. Near pin, playable for Nolan. Maury, left side, down and kill. Ice, ice, baby for Ben Heiss. Otto serves. Otto was an ace. Close but no cigar. The back set hits the pin. Cole Clark couldn't quite get it on the near side. Set near pin. Left hand over the triple block, and that stays in. Ben Heiss felt that triple coming his way, went softly off the inside hands, and it fell so effortlessly in the white part of the logo of C. So another service error by Ruben Emmerich. Cholo tries to pull it through to no avail. Far side, blocked back down. Carthage lead by 3. Got to feel if it gets to 4, may have a timeout by Augustana. Back row. Left side for Hendricks, finds the gap. And that's that stealth play by Hendricks. And there indeed is the timeout by the visiting Vikings of Augustana. As mentioned, if it got to 4, that may be that breaking point for Augustana to want to regroup. Also, with that being said, the out-of-town scoreboard, North Central College set 125-23, set 2 25-21. So North Park on the ropes, trailing 2 sets 0. Tied at 4 apiece in set number 3. North Park again needing a win and help to stay alive in postseason consideration. Illinois Wesleyan, the singular team that controls their own fate. Augustana tied at 1, however trailing in set 3. North Central heads to Iowa to take on the Dewhawks. In CCIW play, 12-8 your score. Some of the other sporting teams in attendance for the Firebirds, the women's basketball team here. Standout guard Malia Green in attendance with some of her teammates. The future stars for the Firebirds. Making the postseason this year. Firebirds team is kind of a very Renaissance type year. Women's volleyball, men's and women's basketball making the postseason. Coach Pop and the football team having things going in the right direction. Men's and women's lacrosse, historic type starts, especially for the women's side. Head coach Maddie Burney, former standout player, taking over. The left-hand serve by McNellis from Skokie going into the net. Of course, now the men's volleyball program looking for the return to prominence. National championships in 21 and 22. The back dump, unsuccessful. Otto back row. Pinballs through the rafters, playable for Sellers. Cholowinski blocks it, he fades away, gets the touch. Still alive for the Vikings, can they take advantage? They hit the pin. 15-9, Birds lead by 6, one of their biggest leads of the afternoon. High point lead, floats over to the Bick. Otto powers through. What can't Otto do? With a 6-point lead still, Otto up to double-digit kills with 10. Yem. Serves it a bit too far. Lead still sits at 5. Serving now, Ben Schultz, one of the better servers for the visiting Vikings. Maury, what a timely dump on the second touch. Felt the defenders going front side, dumped it straight 90 degrees off to the right. Maury, back set. And another point for the Vikings. Lead at 4. 9 kills now for Huntington. and in. Schweitzer delivers. The back set. Mishandled but playable. The uppercut, 2 uppercuts on the free ball, keeping things alive. Hudson Schweitzer. The back set, can the Vikings deliver? Back set overpass. Out of play, no touch. Point for Carthage. The long rally. Timeout by Augustana. The Vikings thought they had a tip off of the kill. Head coach Mike Ducey giving the thumbs down. But nonetheless, that was as close as you're going to get on a touch call. Also, with that being said, no review here in the CCIW. Call stands 19-13. Carthage in a firm position to try to take set number 3. Again, the out-of-town scoreboard, Illinois Wesleyan does not take the court until 5 o'clock Central Time, so they're still about 40 minutes away from their first serve. North Park trailing 2-0. And based on our predictions, we could have a situation, I'm just saying this in general, Illinois Wesleyan could go into their contest against Loris in 40 minutes, having both North Park and Augustana already having lost, meaning because of tiebreakers, Illinois Wesleyan would be here in Kenosha Wednesday without having to win because of the tiebreakers. That would be a relief in the sense that they'd make the postseason and be one of the top 4. On the flip side, tall surfing for Illinois Wesleyan against the number 1 team in the conference. However, with that being said, Carthage absolutely had their hands full just a week ago. I was here on the call, and Illinois Wesleyan looked really good. Really good. They learned from the first time against the Firebirds, took them to the limit. From the big bomb for Owen Otto, Agent 0021. So some of the women's volleyball team in attendance here. Katie Boston, Liv Carroll. 22-17, biggest lead of the afternoon for either team. It's a 9-point lead. And sending it too far, number 3, Garrett McNellis, a 10-point lead for the Birds. It is an 11-point lead. Carthage looking for one of their biggest set victories differential in the season. And under the net go the Vikings, and 25-13. Carthage looking for 3 straight sets after falling in set number 1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with a potential conclusion, or will the Vikings send it to 5? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. We're underway in set number 4. Sets 1, 2, and 3 all started in favor of the Firebirds. Tip over the top. Left-hand chop up by Mori. Back spin. Coming up from the far sideline and keeping it in. Strong start from Moriano. Should the Vikings want to keep their postseason hopes alive? They currently have set 1 going in their favor with North Park trailing. They would also need Illinois Wesleyan to lose, and they would have to come out with 2 straight sets in a row and win in 5 against the Firebirds. Here's a good start, up 2-0. Service error. Serving number 12. One of the toughest players at the service line, Ruben Emmerich. That's just what the doctor ordered. If you're Augustana, weather the storm any way possible. Center to the middle, ISO block attempt. Carthage tries again, this time back set. And that goes into the stands, not able to run it down is Raben. Augustana and their lead down to 1. Serving number 13, Ben Heiss. Over the middle and in. Carthage wants to end it in 4. As against Illinois Wesleyan, the 5th and final set can go anybody's way. And again, you just talk about the mental prowess. Again, should the Vikings win in 5, they would be back here next Wednesday. And again, you want to talk about the mental part of the game, knowing you defeated Carthage at home, where they have not lost in conference play. Their only loss in conference play was at North Central in a 5-setter. 3 losses on the season. Cal Lutheran was a sweep. 5-setter to Stevens. 5-setter to North Central. That's it. Far left side, out of play it goes, but it hit the antenna. Point goes to Augustana. This is shades of set number 1. Another point may see a timeout for the Firebirds. Ben Schultz. Keeping it in is Otto. Otto with yet another kill. He's good. Another point for the Vikings. Carthage has not lost to Augustana in their past 15 contests. again, can't get the left arm underneath it. Carthage looking a bit discombobulated. Exact same score, 8-4 here in this set as it was in set 1. Last time Augustana even won a set against Carthage was back in 2024. They have never sent one to 5 in the series history. This is the 4th time ever that Augustana has even won one set, and it took extras. Birds down by 3, Maury the setter to serve. Nice job with the finesse by Cole Clark. Set near pin. Beautiful back set going too far, no touch. Old Clark not able to get over the top of it enough. Time Clark breaks through to the other side. Lead back to 4. Should it get to 5, that may warrant the timeout. The issue is Carthage was down by 4, but then had been going back and forth. 8-4, 9-5, 10-6. You get the picture. Back set and flicking through is Ben Heiss. Augustana 3 points away from their total in set number 3. Carthage can end the Vikings season here today. Point goes to Cholowinski and the Birds as it hit the ceiling and went on the far side, so regardless of what Cholowinski did, that would have been a point for Carthage, back to within 1. It was 8-4, a 5-2 run. High back set, oh, nice back set. Clark finds it home. Like National Lampoons call him Sparky. 11-9. Find the left hand underneath the baggage for Aiden Bond. Augie's lead sits at 1. A 6-3 run. A self-preservation by Otto in the back row sends it too far and out of play. Augustana back up by 2. Again, if you're just joining us now, first off, welcome. Augustana won set 1 in the exact same fashion as we are seeing here in set number 4. Sets 2 and 3, fairly convincing victories for the Firebirds, 25-20 and especially 25-13. Maury, side bump, off the double. Left side powering through to no avail. Maury back set to the Bick, and that goes out of play, but able to keep it back in. What a turn of events, and Maury save the clock tower. Birds tied at 12. Flick over the top, Nolan finds it. Back near pin and in. It took a bit. Carthage has tied it up. There is the timeout, or excuse me, Carthage taking the lead. 13-12. It was 8-4 and then 10-6. A 7-2 run. As Otto having a long conversation now with head coach J.W. Kiekefer. Carthage once again wants to end in 4 if at all possible. Your out-of-town scoreboard. We have a final. North Park falls in 3 straight to North Central 25-23, which was the closest set, 25-21 and 25-19. It is down to Augustana and Illinois Wesleyan. Once again, should Augustana find a way to come back and win set number 4 and win in 5, they would have the opportunity to go to the postseason. Illinois Wesleyan controls their own fate. Win and they're in. However, if all 3 lose, as mentioned before, and we'll mention again, Wesleyan gets the tiebreaker and would even be in with 2. Many say a top-heavy CCIW, your top 3 teams nationally ranked. Tied at 13. But also the adage, iron sharpens iron. Illinois Wesleyan took Carthage to the brink. Augustana pushing the Birds to the limit here in Kenosha. Emmerich almost comes away with the block. Far side, down, going way out of play. Ryan Huntington again showing his strength. Carthage gladly will smile and take that point. Augustana, after relinquishing the lead, are now playing 1-for-1 volleyball with one of the best in the nation. Carthage once again with the lead. Vikings answer back. Words need not be said as much when it truly is a back and forth battle at this point. Carthage answers the call. Time for another power bomb by Ruben Emmerich. Maury, Otto, Hendricks, Heiss, Cholowinski. Once again, Emmerich into the net. Schweitzer subs in. Back set, left hand. The dive and couldn't get there in time is Max Sellers. Back set on the slide. And it's not often you see the slide in the men's game done textbook. Ben Schultz tied at 18. Left hand uppercut, still alive. Back bump. Left hand over. That stays in. Maury. A heavyweight battle, blow for blow. Maury comes away with kill number 3. Maury sets over. No touch. Cholowinski thought he might have got a tip. No contact. Cholowinski back to serve the big man. Birds first to reach the red zone in set number 4. Must win by 2. Augustana leads, will go to the 5th and final set. Nice little slide by Tom Lamb. Silence of the Lambs here in Kenosha. We're tied at 20. Near pin, down, boom. Owen Otto. Stop me if you heard me, he gets kills. Coming into today, Otto 283 kills. Tops on the team to the 203 of Ben Heiss. Otto almost at 300 on the season. Heard us saying his name, timeout. For the Vikings, I don't know if they do have a second one. Okay, I think there was a conversation for a second. They did have a second and final one. They will use it. Birds need 3. We want to remind everybody, stick around for the post-game show. Head coach CCIW's reigning regular season champ, J.W. Kiefer, will join us in the booth for the post-game show, so of course stick around for that. Should the Birds finish out the Vikings, they will host Illinois Wesleyan Wednesday despite the outcome of the Illinois Wesleyan game based on tiebreakers. Illinois Wesleyan having defeated North Park 3-1 and lost 3-1, so it came down to their tiebreaker being overall points. They then split the season series against Augustana 3-1 and then lost 3-0. But based on the official CCIW records, Illinois Wesleyan sits at the 4. That may change, so bear with us. Set left side. The back set, left hand, ricochets, pinballs around. It gets Moriano in the right orbital socket. As they are trying to really split up where these teams are. Moriano, the R2 and R1 are taking the time to see if Moriano can continue on, really shaking it off. Mori goes right for Moriano. Set over the middle, playable for Nolan. Mori, near side on the switch for Otto. Back row. Hendricks over. Hendricks underneath. Otto over the top. And it's 24-20. We are at match point. Birds looking to end the regular season on a high note. Mori at the service line. Blocked back, and that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. Tied at 20, the Birds went on a 5-0 run, and that's how you close the regular season. Your 2025 regular season CCIW champs, the Carthage College Firebirds. A valiant effort by the Vikings. The postseason at stake. We'll see where things shake out, but as of now, it's in the Titans' hands. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, the post-game show with head coach J.W. Kiefer on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
CCIW Men's Regular Season Volleyball Champion. Once again, fans, thank you for attending tonight's men's volleyball match. The Firebirds scored 40
Joined now by CCIW regular season conference winning coach J.W. Key. Caver here in the postgame show on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Coach, it's just another one in the win column, but first off, congratulations. Talk me through what it really took to get here.
It's not just another one, Peter. Every single one you get has so much value, no matter if it's against the worst team in the country or a really, really, really good Augustana volleyball team. And they proved how good they are tonight. I thought they played incredible volleyball. And every one you get, you're just so proud of, and the value each one has, especially in conference play, but those values that each match has to give your team confidence and swagger, it's just, you can't replace it. And I'm so proud of this group and how we fought today. Got down early in that first set. I thought Augie came out with some awesome energy. Like, their bench was hyped up, their team was hyped up, they were ready to go play some offense, and we just didn't serve the ball very well in that set. A lot of service areas was uncharacteristic for our team. We don't usually miss that many. And so to see that many misses, I think we just couldn't really get going and score enough points early. And it got close. I thought we had them late. We made some great plays and then just couldn't quite get over the hump. So, when we stopped missing a bunch of serves, we made it a little bit easier on ourselves. But like I told the guys in the locker room, like, we have to take chances back there to go win volleyball matches. We cannot put easy balls in play. You got to go take chances to win matches. You're not playing not to lose. You're playing to win. And when we take chances back there, like in set 3 when Otto went back there to go off on that run, that's what we can do to people. So that's what we got to keep focused on, is taking chances from the baseline to make it a little bit easier for us to play defense and turn it. But I thought Ryan Morey did a great job with the offense today. He made the adjustment of getting that ball in the location we needed it to. I think we were missing there, and so he made a good adjustment to get it where it needed to go. And all of our hitters, I thought, played really well. They were committing a lot, and so I think Hudson and Ryan Cholowinsky did a great job of getting that ball around. And, man, Owen Otto and Ben Heiss are really freaking good at volleyball. My God, are they good at volleyball. So I'm happy they're on our team. Let's put it that
Exactly.
way.
Not to overhype Owen Otto, but, again, Augustana knows what's coming. The CCIW knows what's coming. It's still it's very hard to stop. Talk me through what it's like knowing, hey, we can feed him and he'll find his way. He'll navigate around whatever the defense is putting in front of him.
I think late set 4 showed how good Owen Otto is at volleyball. And at some point in the match, he bounces the ball down the line. I think it was 1 or 3. We were on the near side here. And he just bounces the ball down the line outside the block. And then they take his line. And he's got to go cross all night. And what makes him so impressive is he goes cross 4-4. So he goes cross court inside the 10-foot line cross. And Libero's upset. And so he steps into that shot the very next set we give him. And then he goes to a different location on the floor, over the top of the block, still cross court, right? And then he's able to drop a couple in line, high line, true line with the bounce. Like, his fan covers the entire length of the floor. And when he's hot, he's impossible to stop because he can hit all areas of the floor. It doesn't matter what block you put in front of him, he'll hit the angle that's open. And his arm is, like, just good enough to get it back off people. So, really proud of him. He's a pretty special talent. And I thought, again, Ryan Morey made some good adjustments about where to get him the ball a little better. And Ben Heiss came up some big kills in set 4 as well, over the top of the block into some corners. Sometimes he doesn't hit it with as much topspin as you'd like, but it kind of finds its way to a guy's chest and we get the point. So, Owen Otto's pretty special. We're happy he's on our team, and I'm really thankful I get to coach him. He's really come out into a really cool young man here in the last couple years, confidence in himself. Confidence in his teammates, and he's having a lot of fun. So the growth that Owen Otto's gone through as a man is fun to watch as well.
Augustana playing for their lives, of course, and we still need the dust to settle to see where things are going to land. They came out and gave everything they had in set number 1. What was the conversation between sets 1 and 2 to make sure you closed up shop here today and didn't necessarily guarantee you're going to see that same opponent on Wednesday?
Yeah, I don't know how many aces that Augustana had at the end of that match, but I think we gave up 3 clean to the floor in the first set that we didn't go for. We thought we were out and they landed in. And so the message was we were getting beat up in the serve pass game. I think we had made 6 service errors, which is a lot for us. And then they had 3 aces to the floor that we didn't even go for, right? It's one thing to have a ball get off of you and get an ace like that, that's a thing. But when balls go through you and you don't touch it and you think it's out and it goes in, like, we had to clean that part up, is being aggressive in serve receive, trying to make touches and going from there. So that was the message. Let's make sure we win in serve and pass. I thought we won in every other statistical category in that match. It's just the serving and the passing that we lost so badly in. we almost won anyway, 24-26, and we were getting murdered in serve pass. So that was the message. Let's turn the serve pass around, and we're going to go win this match pretty easily, because I thought in every other space we were outplaying them, to be honest.
Yeah. Wednesday, hosting again. And again, not to understate what it is, you have created a system, you've created a program. It's a destination of where people want to be. What is it going to take to come away with a victory Wednesday, prep for that game, win, so we're once again here on Saturday?
Yeah, I thank you for that compliment, Peter. I did not create this program. That was LJ Marks a while ago in 2005 who started it, and it was Alumni Day today, so we welcome back a lot of alumni, and they were having fun on that side of the net, being together, and I'm excited to go spend some time with them. A lot of guys that I've coached in my career here, and just really thankful that they wanted to come back and be a part of this program and hang out together, because it's about them, right? And they are the ones that create the culture. They're the ones that create the camaraderie that makes it fun to be at Carthage. They're the ones that continue to make this be a destination, as you said. I appreciate the compliment, but it's about those young men and how they care about each other and how they come back and celebrate each other, and how they come back and celebrate the young men that are on the team that they don't know. And it's so much fun to get to be around them, the alumni being back. And I think this group is no different. The group on the floor, the group currently at Carthage, they're just so much fun to coach. And they create the culture, they create and demand accountability and a standard that is elite. It's top notch, and it's a destination, as you say. But thanks to them, the guys on this program, LJ Marks, for what he's done to create the culture, and thanks for Athletic Director Ryan Kane and Assistant Athletic Director Mark White, Connor Leppink, and President John Swallow for all they've done for our program. Those are the voices that make this happen. I'm just thankful that everybody allows me to be around.
Yeah. Looking at Wednesday specifically then, what are these next 3 or 4 days going to look like? Gym reps, practicing again, leaning toward being Illinois Wesleyan. They gave you a run for your money and brought you to the limit last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it's this Augustana team again, they're really good. And obviously take a look at the video and repeat it. If it's somebody else, we'll go take a look. We've played all 3 of those teams the last 3 matches of the year, so really familiar with all 3. Really, last basically week. We played them all in a week, so we know all 3 teams. We'll take a look at what we did against them last time and try to help out the defense. We just gotta find a way. We're beat up. I think everybody's at this point of the year. That's not just us, right? Everybody's hurt, and legs are heavy and all that kind of stuff. So we gotta evaluate what's the best thing to do on our side of the net. Is it take a day off? Is it a really quick practice? Is it lifting on Monday? Is it not? I don't know. I wish I was smarter than I am, but we'll go back, talk to the captains, talk to assistant coaches, and our strength coach Greg Ramondi. Thank him for all he does, and we'll figure out what's the right path forward. Just thankful to be here in this position. Thankful to have another match with these young men, and it's just so much fun every time we get in the floor. And I had so much fun today, and I'm hoping to have a lot more fun on Wednesday and get another chance to go to battle.
Well, we'll be here for it, Coach. Congratulations once again, another CCIW regular season championship. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Thanks, Peter.
Go All right, thank you, Coach. Once again, that was head coach J.W. Kiefer, again, humble as they can be, but a huge display of confidence and sportsmanship for his team. The Firebirds fall in extras in set 1, 2, 3, and 4. Secure the CCIW regular season championship. Let's look at what is the final statistics for these 2 teams as we look through 54-43, the kill differential. Carthage hitting at an outstanding 350. Set number 3 really put that number ahead. Higher on the assist, that was one of our categories to look at, that net presence. Service errors, 22 service errors, as Coach Kiefer said, very uncharacteristic for what they were doing. 7-2, that block differential, and even on the dig mark. Well, we want to thank you all for being with us, looking ahead at the schedule for what is coming up on live.carthage.edu. Tomorrow, baseball versus Carroll, a 1 o'clock first pitch. Wednesday, women's lacrosse versus Carroll. That's a 6 o'clock face-off. And then at 7, the CCIW semifinals, the men's volleyball team facing potentially Augustana, potentially Illinois Wesleyan, to be determined. And then, of course, Saturday the 12th, baseball versus North Park, a doubleheader at noon. Women's lacrosse versus Calvin at 4. And then potentially the CCIW tournament championship. Should Carthage come away victorious on Wednesday, they will then face an opponent, either North Central or Loris on Saturday. For executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, as well as Morgan, Matt, Addison, Raylan, and Allison, a fully student-produced broadcast. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2025. CCIW regular season champions, the Firebirds of Carthage College. They'll be back Wednesday, opponent TBD. Once again, I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us not only today, but all season on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.